Carnation Evaporated Milk presents the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
I see you've been shopping, huh?
Oh, yes.
Pretty
You know
heavy
that
basket.
Mr. Myers who runs the market down there, he's not very smart.
Really?
No, he was showing me some chickens in the refrigerator, and he said, Mrs. Burns, I want to tell you this. These chickens are frozen.
Frozen chickens.
And I said, well, no wonder. If you were in the refrigerator, you'd be frozen, too.
Well, Mr. Myers is not as young as he used to be.
Yes. Say, George, I've got an idea.
What's that?
Let's have the Mortons over to spend the afternoon and have dinner with us.
I've got another idea. Let's not.
Well, that's good, too. Maybe we can do both. Well, anyway, they could come over after dinner to play bridge, and I know they'd love to have a swim in our pool.
Look, Gracie, you know I like the Mortons, but I think we see too much of them.
Well, I could ask them to swim with their clothes on.
No, the Mortons are charming people. Oh, I love these. Bread and butter pickles.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't bread and butter look different when it's pickled?
Gracie, the Mortons are charming people, but I think we ought to cultivate other friends, too.
But Blanche is my very dearest friend. We have so much in common. We're both women.
I know that.
And we're both married.
I know.
And our husbands are both married.
Look, Gracie, let me try to... It's nice to go out and look for some new faces.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Blanche. I'll discuss it later.
Gracie.
Hello, Blanche.
Hi, Blanche.
Hello, George.
How's the week of sex today?
Oh, Harry's fine. Say, Gracie, I want you to come over and look at my new waffle iron.
Well, I'll come over, but I think they're silly. If you iron out a waffle, it'll look just like a pancake.
Why don't you come over and look at it anyway?
Well, all right, I will, as soon as I put something away now.
Okay. What are you doing this afternoon?
Oh, I don't know. George wants to go somewhere and find new faces.
Well, he should, but you don't need one. Gracie? Gracie? Gracie, it isn't that funny.
Oh, yes, it is. I can just see Mr. Myers in the refrigerator without his feathers. Come on.
Good evening. I hope you don't think I'm a heavy because I wanted to get away from our neighbors for a day. It's nothing personal, no matter how nice your friends are. If you're with them all the time, it's like being shipwrecked with a carload of corned beef. Don't get me wrong about the Mortons. I love corned beef. But people, if you see too much of them, you begin to think alike and you begin to act alike, and the first thing you know, Gracie will start thinking and acting like Blanche Morton, and I love Gracie the way she is. I don't want to sell ties again. Seeing the same people all the time, it's unhealthy. I know two couples who were inseparable. They were together all the time. You know what happened? They finally got divorced and they married each other's wives. And that didn't break them up. They were still the best of friends. But now they're not speaking. You know why? One guy tried to borrow the other guy's umbrella. Take Jack Benny and myself. We've been friends for 24, 25 years. Very, very close friends. But we've had our differences, only because he's a very stubborn man. For instance, the year I was a Democrat, he was a Republican. The year I was a Republican, he was a Democrat. You see, I'm broad-minded enough to change, but he's always on the wrong side. I even think it's possible for a husband and wife to see too much of each other. especially in the morning when everybody looks like they're laying off. Although Gracie has a solution for that. She said that people should sleep late or sleep all day. In that way, they look better. They miss 2 meals, and by the time the husband gets up, he's already back home from work. This may sound confusing to you, but I've been married to Gracie for a long time. I don't understand it at all. And, oh, wonder who that is. Stopping at our house.
Yes?
How do you do? Are you Mrs. Burns?
Yes?
I'm Mr. Norman from the Pest Control Service. I'm here for a termite inspection.
Oh, well, would you like to come in?
Thank you.
Or if you'd rather, you can open your bag and I'll inspect them out here.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand, Mrs. Burns. Your husband phoned our company and said he wanted a termite inspection.
Oh, well, then come right in. I'll tell him to start getting undressed.
Yeah, what is it?
The man who's here for the termite inspection.
Have him come down in the cellar.
Oh, all right. Oh, it's darker down there, and he's very shy.
No, you still don't seem to understand, Mrs. Burns. You see, termites are insects that undermine your home.
Oh, that's awful.
Yes, they get into your foundation.
Oh, my, there's hardly room for me in there.
I think I'd better get started. Where's the basement?
Gracie!
Yes, follow me. Yes, Blanche. Oh, hi. Oh, well, Blanche, I want you to meet Mr. Norman, the termite man.
I know, Mr. Norman. Harry had him over last week.
Hello.
How do you do?
How do our husbands pick these things up? You know, George has got them, too.
No, Mrs. Burns, there's one thing I must clear up for you right now. People cannot have termites.
I know that, Mr. Norman. Only termites can have termites. People have babies.
Honey, he meant that termites are sort of a little ant that eat the wood in your house.
Yes, that's right, Mrs. Burns, and according to your husband, your basement is full of them.
Yeah, oh, they're terrible, Gracie. Last year they cost us $260.
Oh, well, Blanche, don't buy any this year, and you can have half of ours.
Mrs. Burns, where can I go to mix my formula?
Oh, well, right in there.
Thank you.
Sit down, Blanche, while I finish making these sandwiches.
No, thanks, honey. Could I borrow your sewing machine? I want to sew up this beach coat. Harry and I are going to Malibu today.
Oh, wonderful. So are we. You know, George says it's a wonderful idea to get away from the people that you see all the time.
Well, I think it is, too.
Oh, good. Then we can get away from them together.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm ready to go to work, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, all right. Mr. Norman, would you like a cup of coffee?
Well, sure, I'd love one.
All right.
Oh, I'll get a question.
All right.
Oh, by the way, honey, don't forget to bring your beach umbrella.
Well, why bother with that? Let's get someone else for a minute or two.
Get someone else's for a minute or two?
Oh, sure. As soon as we get our spot nice and shady, we'll give it back to them.
Sit down, Mr. Norman.
Thank you.
How about you, Blanche?
No, later, honey. I'll fix my beach coat now.
All right. A carnation, Mr. Norman?
Yes, that's very good in coffee.
Oh, yes. It's much handier than a bottle of cream, too. You know, you can open either end of this. Of course, I always make a hole in the top. When I make it in the bottom, it doesn't seem to last as long.
This coffee is very delicious.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Norman, do you only work with termites?
No, we get rid of all household pests like silverfish and moths.
Oh, moths, aren't they awful? The way they eat your clothes is terrible.
Did you know that the moth is a cousin to the silkworm that makes silk?
Well, that's a fine arrangement they have. One cousin makes it and the other cousin eats it. What's the matter? Should it be the other way around?
I think I'd better get started. Where's the basement?
It's right down in the basement.
I'll look for it.
You probably wonder why I let these fellas talk to Gracie instead of seeing them myself. I'll tell you why. I had a fella here painting my house, and Gracie told him to paint all the light bulbs black. She says in that way she can turn them on in the daytime and make the room dark. This is 2 years ago. He has yet to come back for his money. I don't know what to do with the scaffold either. So you see, there's a method in my madness.
George!
Oh, pardon me, there's Harry Morton.